I'm live. How exciting is that? So, I'm now working on my staple. I've I put it on for several days, so I haven't done much progress since. I'm finishing the first round of increases while it's all in the round because I've been working on CC socks, which they look tiny, but I really think that they might fit because they're only five rows shorter than the ones that I do for myself, and they're not blocked yet, and it's super wash. So I think that they might work, but we'll see. If I have to undo them, I'll just pull out the toes, keep knitting. I still have a little bit more of this speckled yarn, so. And since I'm doing the live, and just moments ago, I opened my um, what is it called? Advents. I can show you the stuff that like the yarn itself that that I got. So this is the one that I got from the Advent for myself. That's the right. There you go. And that is seagrass, and it's a fingering weight palette, and it's 50 grams, and it is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. So it's not the softest, but it's not as rustic as others. And then Inga, apparently I'm going to be knitting with lots of alpaca this year because Inga gifted me some alpaca. This one is alpaca with nylon, and it is. I feel extremely confident saying that this is lace. It might be something even thinner than lace, though. It looks like a little ball of fur. And these are just some worsted weights, similar to the other ones that she's given me, but in green, which I love. And I just thought, since I just opened those, I'd show those. And in the meantime, I'm going to be knitting. I have one ball of yarn, this one, that is white and has speckles of green and yellow. Oh, hi! Hello! Oh, this is so exciting! Well, you go grab your staple, and then let me know what colors you're working on today, okay? This is so exciting. As I was saying, I'm using this ball of yarn that came from, what is it called? Yarnable. And I didn't want to take this one out. I wanted to take out one that's like super light pink. This one, I made a mistake. Luckily, I did not cut the yarn. So what I did is I'm keeping this one still there. And when I get to there, I'll cut my pink and I'll add this one. Because I added a different one that was white that has different like golden speckles. And this is just all the yarn balls that I want to use, and it's here somewhere because I can't just grab the. Oh, there it is. Wait, is this it? No, this is another one. I'm using the ones. If you might have seen one episode where I show a bunch of tiny balls of yarn. Ah, there it is. That my friend Jane gifted to me, and I'm using some of those. Some of those that have the shades of pink and yellow. But let's see if I. But you can see it has like gray, white, and like goldens. And I'm going to use that, I think, until I run out. And then I'm going to switch to another one. Possibly this one that is extremely yellow. It's so cool. You see, I had thought I'd use some of those for socks. But if I can, like little scraps to make like toes or cuffs. But if I can add them to the sweater, it would look so cool, I think, with big blocks of this or that yarn. I think it's exciting. And then I have one strain that is just white that I'm going to keep probably until I split, and then change to something creamier And my goal is to go more colorful and bold and also darker. So we have a message and it says, "That's pretty. The combo of yarns I'm using right now is dark teal green and blue with two multicolored yarns. Really looks like colored lights on a Christmas tree." Okay. I really love that. I think that's going to make a beautiful sweater. I'm also thinking of doing something like that where I have warm colors and I have cold colors because while cold colors are my go-to for work, warm colors are my favorite. And so I'm thinking of making one like super colorful and warm, where I, like I was saying, transition to darker colors, and then another one where I just use shades of blue, because blue and gray, because I have lots of those. So, especially since, blue is just his favorite color. Ooh, there's an increase here. And so, whenever I knit for him, which is extremely rarely, because he doesn't like scratchy stuff and he doesn't like bulky stuff either. Um, I have, lots of just blues and grays that are scraps from him and scraps from when I first started knitting, especially since I was knitting for lots of baby boys too, like infants, from his family. Just lots of boys. Thank you. Very organized. Actually, you'll be surprised when you look at my Vlogmas that I still have not been able to edit because of my issues with Apple. Just lots of memory issues, but now it's all figured out. And also, yesterday, if you remember, I had to postpone the video because of a storm and the possibility of the lights going out. Well, at 10 past 12, the lights went out. They popped back in like 5 minutes later, but it would have ruined this, I think. Right about this time, I'd be cut off, and who knows when I'll be able to come back. But I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yes, organization. I have, as you know, a notebook, which is not here. It's on the dining room table with all the yarn that I've gotten up until yesterday. And I'm cutting all the labels and gluing them with Scotch tape. And then I'm putting the samples of every yarn, and I do that to everything except mohair. Mohair, I keep it with the labels on until I use it, because it would be a giant mess if I were to take those labels off. But it was a whole thing. It took me like 1 hour to organize everything, and I think I'll have to do it either Wednesday or Thursday night, also before I leave, just so I have everything organized, because our flight is going to be on Friday, so it's very exciting. I can't wait to go back to Europe and go back to Portugal specifically. Obviously, that's where I'll be, but just Europe just has all these like different small things that are different from the US, and if you've traveled to both places, you'll know. And I'm just excited to go back, and I'm really excited to go back to an airport. I don't like airplanes. I'm afraid of flying, and I feel very claustrophobic there. But when it comes to airports, I love it, and I research the airports in advance. And I try to print out a map of them if they have one available online, and I check the food spots that I'd like to try while I'm there, just so that I'm not wasting time walking around looking for a place that has food that will make me feel good and comfortable, because airplane food just messes up my whole self. It's just too salty for me, and I don't know. I always end up not feeling very good. So I try to look for good food in the airports. Oops, I have to keep that on my lap or on the floor. There it goes. Oh, hey, more folks. Hello. Yes, so organization is key. For some people, I might be too organized. I do monthly budgets. Um, I like to keep like my clothes in the drawers. They're big drawers, but I keep them like this is all my t-shirts. This is all my sports t-shirts. These are all my sports something else, or this is all my work t-shirts. I just keep everything like that. It just makes it so much easier to find stuff. And you know what you're missing instead of when you're looking for something specific. Um, so, are you all knitting on your staples right now? Everyone that's watching, or are you knitting on something else, or maybe crochet, or maybe not knitting at all? I don't know. Write in the comments. There should be, I think, a chat box next to the video. I think it would be next to the video, so you can write and also say where you're from. It's very exciting to know that you're talking to people from all around the world. And then, so I'll be doing this for like 30 minutes minimum, which is like 20 minutes more. Or, I mean, up to an hour maximum, because I'm meeting up with a friend, and I've been wearing masks these last few weeks all the time when I'm around people, because since I got both my shots in the booster, if I do get COVID, there's a chance that I might not even know that I have COVID, you know, because of all the shots. And what matters is for a flight is whether I have it or not. Debbie says, I'm making knitted mini mittens for presents. Oh, that's cute. Are those ornaments? And do you use scraps for those, or are you like using your advent yarn? And then, hey Sarah, I just pulled out my staple to knit along with you. I'm in Rhineman, is that right? Rhineman? I don't know. Massachusetts, originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So basically, you have moved away from the tornado area, right? For present toppers. Do you mean like, and this, I'm talking about the mittens, if you're looking at the comments at the same time as you see this. Is a present topper like the bow, like after you wrap everything? Is that what that is? Rain ham. Rain ham. Okay, gotcha. Oh, yeah. And then those tornado. I don't know. Alley. I read yesterday that it has been moving eastwards, and also that the tornadoes have been happening mostly at night in this area, which makes them way more dangerous because people are asleep. Some people have really good insulation on their windows, so they might not even hear if it starts getting windy, and they might not pay attention to their. Am I at the place? No, not yet. Am I? Yes, I am. Ooh, I can switch my yarn now. But not everyone pays attention to warnings, and I didn't know until I had seen someone on Instagram talking about it, because I woke up extra early, and then boom, there it was. Tornadoes and storms. We have folks from Ireland, County Clare, is that right? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I like that name. Using scraps, and yes, they just go on the presents with a label and bow. Ah, that's lovely. That's such a good idea. I love that. Oh, yes. No tornadoes in Ireland. We've had one in Portugal. I remember it was a fire tornado. So it was there happened to be a dry storm. That's when it doesn't rain, but you still have lightning and thunder and wind. And one of the lightnings like struck a tree or a piece of grass or something, I don't know, and it started a fire. And because it was a storm without rain, and the storm started causing a tornado, it was a fire tornado. I think that's insane. It's crazy. It looks like the sort of thing that would only happen in a movie, but there it is in Portugal, that is not known for tornadoes, really. Oh, let's see. Outer London. All right. So we have two in America and two on the other side of the pond. Oops, gosh, I'm all tangled up. Have you tried traveling with the stay pool? It's a little bit crazy. Yeah, fire tornadoes are a real thing. They're just rare because, usually in a storm you'd get rain. You wouldn't just start a fire without having rain to put it down. I'm just trying to cut this with one hand. There we go. I'm using my scissor. Oh, and I did bring all of my advent markers, and I have them all laid out, laid out there, because I want to start switching my colorful markers from to-dayknits that I'm using to my advents. I thought that would be nice. Winnipeg, Canada. Hi, Jody. Hello. Can you tell me about the staple? Okay, so the staple is a sweater by Park Williams. It has a loose fit. It's just very comfortable, or at least very comfortable looking. I've never actually done one and wore it more than this, but basically, you can use its bulky weight. Oops, holding my needles here. It's bulky weight yarn, and she gives you suggestions on how to use your scraps from different weights: fingering, worsted, I think Aran, sport, I think lace as well. She gives you suggestions to put all of those together that you already have on your stash and make a sweater. And then you just take them off and add them, or use them until you're done with them, and then add a different one of same weight or similar weight. And basically it's just a raglan sweater. The beginning of it, and you don't do the ribbing. There's going to be some ribbing here at some point. This looks really weird. But basically you start flat, and you start in the center, and you go around and around and around and around and around and so on, until she tells you, now knit in a circle. And then you start knitting in the circle. That's how much I've done knitting in the circle right there. It is very size inclusive, I can tell you that for sure. And I don't know. So far, I think it's going well. The instructions are clear. I've knitted, I think, either one or two patterns from her before, starting last year. I think my first one was in February, and I don't know if that was my only one or not. Can't recall. But she has really lovely patterns. And am I holding? No. Yes. Why am I holding? Oh, no, I see. I was like, why am I holding 5 strands when I should be holding 3? It's because I have this tail. And I think I might just knit that. I'll knit a little bit more and then I'll drop it. Okay. So is there anything else that you'd like to know about the pattern? Let me know if you have specific questions that I can't think of. Basically, I try to speak of patterns in a way that if someone doesn't know about it, how would I explain it? But I forgot to do an increase there. Okay, gotta go back. But I might be forgetting something that you might want to know. Let's see. What else? So much yarn in the staple. Well done to you for doing a live video while knitting it. Well, we'll see how many mistakes will come from this, right? Gotta stay focused, but as my teachers have always said, from like report cards that my mom still keeps, Sana is a very talkative girl, and she needs something to, you know, how do you say it? Entertain her because she cannot distract the other people in class. So yes, I suppose I could speak while doing anything. Oh, hi there. Good morning from Winnipeg, Canada. Oh, that's right. Canadians. We have now two? No, three. I think three. And sounds fun. Love a raglan. Me too. I think they're always comfortable and you don't have to like do sleeves separately and then add them in. I don't like that much. I'll do it if the pattern calls for it, but I do love a raglan. Um, I like the concept of knitting with scraps and multiple weights. Maybe I'll try that with a colorwork sweater or hat. Um, Jody, that sounds like a lovely idea. Um, I would just, with colorwork, um, it might be harder just because you have, like, if it's a simple colorwork with like two colors, maybe three. But if it's more than that, because I've seen patterns that call for like, I don't know, five different things at the same time. You'd just be adding more, more skeins and more yarn. But if it's like a simpler pattern, that sounds great. And I'm sure that you could do whatever you put your mind to. I would just probably not do it myself if it was like super complicated. Uh-oh. Okay, see now I dropped one of my yarn stitches from, but oh no, I didn't drop it. It's just the tail that's sticking out. Okay, I'm just gonna pull that from this side. That's the right one? No? Yes. Pulling it, pulling it. All right, I have no idea where this strand, right there, do you see that? I have no idea where that is coming from, but I'll fix it later. Now it's just a row of knits. That's not too bad, is it? I know, two people from Winnipeg. Isn't that crazy? It's funny how many people, like, if I go to the yarn store and they're like, oh, you don't know this person? How do you not know this person? You're both from here and you both knit, and it's funny. Like an art project. Yes. Well, Jody. Oh, let's see. I'm knitting a bulky yarn hat as well and playing yarn chicken. But doing the staple has given me the idea of how to create more bulky yarn if I need it. Yes, exactly. That is a good idea if you ever need to do that. Indeed. Or like imagine that you buy yarn that you can't return. And it's all finger weight. But it's supposed to be worsted. Just, I guess, use two strands together. That should fix it, right? Look at this mess. Wait, hold on. One, two. Oh, that's because there's two of pink there. All right, I'm going to grab my pink yarn ball and just roll it. Because now it's starting to twist with the other yarns. Let's see. And this is also from Yarnable. I think it was the May. It's just different shades of pink with splashes of purple. Oh, yes. My family is super excited. I talk to them all the time, several times a week. We do like video chats as I'm leaving work, because the time works out well. It's like past their dinner time there, and here I'm just driving home. So usually I put them, on the phone and I talk to them while I'm driving. Obviously, not holding the phone because that is against the law or something. There's some rule that says that you can't do it. Um, but yes, we're going to be doing some traveling, and I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to show Joseph some, because he's really into history, we're going to show him some prehistoric monuments and some Roman monuments and some medieval castles. I think it's going to be really exciting. Plus, we're going to go shopping, visit family and friends, eat all the good food. Oh, I'm so excited. Alice says, I'm knitting on a necklace using wool I got from a thrift sweater I frogged. Oh, what a good idea. Do you have any idea though what fiber that sweater is? Did it still have a tag? Um, that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah. Um, how do you, Alice, how do you know the yarn that it is? Did you, I don't know, can you tell? If it isn't written, can you tell what sort of thing it is? Because if it's a thrift store, it might be as modern as it's being like all acrylic, or it could be a mix, or it could have nylon, um, and that's has different properties. And I'm sure when you swatch, you notice all of that. But that's a very interesting idea. I have a friend that's a couple of several friends that are really into thrift shopping, and some of them knit. So I might bring that up to them with them and see if how they like that idea. Maybe they'd like to do that sometime. Poly cotton. Okay. Well, that must be really nice and refreshing. Not as hot as this. I think cotton is really tricky because, I mean, in the summer, well, first as a woman, I don't appreciate all the see-through um, materials that are out there. You always have to use something that's skin tone under it, unless you don't mind it noticing. Um, but I have not knit a lot with cotton so far because I find it weird how you don't want it to be stretchy. You might you don't want it to be close to your body, and also you don't want it to have to be see-through through like the holes of the knitting. So I have not done a lot with that sort of thing before. It's very interesting. Mm. I saw it on my podcast. Okay, cool. Have you shown it on an episode yet or not yet? Because I am behind on everything. I have not. I've seen one, two, maybe three vlogmases, but only on the first day. After that, I have not been able to catch up. Between doing my own and all the extra work I've been doing at actual work. And time to switch my tags. I was supposed to be doing that and I totally forgot. Go with the bunny. And now I forgot what I was saying. Let's see if I can remember it. Oh yes, I am behind on everything, and now I'm actually packing because I like to pack 1 week in advance so that I don't wear anything by accident that I actually want to wear in the trip. And I especially like to plan my airport clothes, especially for such long trips, because and now a tree. Because I like to be comfortable, but since traveling back and forth, I've noticed that if you're better dressed, the people like at security, for example, they treat you differently. So I always try to look ahead for a comfortable option that looks like I'm dressed for work. Unless, athletic leisure wear sort of thing, which would be my favorite for flying because you're wearing that for 24 hours while possibly running through the airports, grabbing your bags. But oh well. Let's see. I loved thrifting, but I've not yet found a sweater with nice yarn to frog. Yes, I can see that. Like sometimes you either don't like the yarn, like you maybe like the color, but you don't like how it feels. You cannot see yourself knitting with it, or maybe it's like just older and maybe it's not doesn't look as sturdy as it could have been. Sometimes it's just that excuse me. Sometimes it's just that it's not yarn that is literally good to frog because it will all cling together. Like mohair can be complicated, for example. Hmm. I have to frog a sweater I knitted for my mom, but it doesn't fit her well, so she doesn't like it. We'll frog and make something else. Are you going to make something else for her or something else for someone else? The problem of knitting for others when they're not with you to try on as you go. I know. That's why I'm scared about these socks. They look like baby socks, but it's only 5 rows shorter than my size. Um, but it's scary because I haven't blocked it one, and two. I mean, that person is like 3.5 hours away driving distance, and I have not seen them since the moment that they asked me to make them socks with that specific yarn for Christmas. So it's tricky. Oh, bye, Alice. Oh, definitely for you. Yes. Okay. Oh, how funny. My experience has been also that the thrift shops in the US are lots bigger than here in Ireland. Real treasure troves. I can see that. I've only been to one here. It had more than just clothes. It had like magazines, paintings, books, all sorts of things. But excuse me, I've also been to one in Portugal that was just clothes. I found two things there that I wear frequently enough. And that's a pair of pants and a pair of shorts. Um, but I can definitely see the issue with, let's see, forgot to switch that one. Um, the size and the lack of options. That one was just like a tiny store with 2 floors. Um, and some of it, like I think that the downstairs was all stuff that had been used before. And I think that the upstairs was things that had not been used before, but had been made a while ago. Um, like 80 years ago, they made all these swords, but they never sold. 80? I mean, 20? 10? 20. I meant to say 20. Like they were shirts that looked like they were from the 90s. I love going thrifting. Problem is, I happen to find Icelandic and Irish sweaters that I cannot possibly bear to leave or take apart for the wool. Ah, well, hopefully they'll fit you. Um, you can always wear a baggy sweater with jeans or just around the house if you want to. But I think that a cool vintage baggy sweater, jeans, and some boots or comfortable heels, I think those always look good. And I like that vintage things are in style. Um, I wear lots of hand me downs from my mother because I'm just slightly bigger than her. Um, and things that she doesn't use anymore from the 90s still look good on me now, and I get to wear them all the time. Oh, yeah, good finds. I mean, what are the chances of finding such nice sweaters, right? Excuse me. One of my issues with thrift stores is that um, I am allergic to like dust and mold, and those are just things that sometimes linger in the air, like the smell of them, because they either the articles come from a storage house or um, a warehouse, I mean, or some place in storage that has been like a box in someone's basement and it's taken out to the store. But I don't know, I can never stay long in such stores. It's very hard for me. But also in new stores because of the AC has a lot of mold issues. I have a vintage 60s Icelandic sweater I inherited from my mother. It's amazing. Oh, wow. Now that is a treasure, right? I mean, not only it must be beautiful and, it's been here in this world for a little while, but also it's from family that's so special. Hmm. There was one that I rescued and got a huge stain off the front. Wow. Just washed it with some wool wash after using a wool safe stain remover. I wear it at 10. Oh, what? They have a brand for that? Because that sounds interesting. I've had an issue with um, candle wax falling and leaving a stain. Um, so I wonder if that would be an option for me. Um, do you have a local knit group, Sarah? I'm lucky to have one local to me, and it's fun to see what everyone is making. Not really. The store that I used to go to for the group, well, it used to have lots of people pre-COVID, and then with COVID, the store hours changed, and now they're just getting back to normal. Um, but I still have not actually gone gone back, and at this point, I'm not sure I will because I will be moving at some point soon, in a few months. Um, but I do have an online group. We all got together. We were put together randomly because we all participated in the summer VIP summer sock camp. I think I'm saying that right. And that is a program that is created by Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. She also has a store now. And figuring this out, doing an increase. And we all, well, some of us kept chatting, and now we have sit and knit every Wednesday and Friday nights. But I cannot make all of those. We usually have family around, and I usually can only make it to like Friday or Wednesday, but mostly Wednesday. Because just as family comes to town frequently because they have work here as well. Um, and so I can only make it once, and I can never stay as long as them. I mean, they really stay like up to midnight, and ideally I'd be in bed by 9:30, so I can only stay usually for like 2 hours. But it's lots of fun, and it's great to be part of a community, right? O for candle wax. Take a paper towel and place over affected area. Then place an iron on low heat for a small amount of time to liquefy the wax. Should come right out. Yes, we do stay up crazy late. I mean, crazy late for me is crazy late for different people, but it is late. And it always ends up with Joseph coming in and being like, it's bedtime. Just giving me the look like, it's time. And thank you for the candle wax removing suggestion. I've tried ice to make it like really hard and hopefully like chip off. But the issue is also that, the candle has oil in it. It's one of those like scented candles that has a oil that gives out the scent, and that left a stain too. I was able to remove a little bit of the wax, not all of it, so I will try that method. Um, but then there's always the oil stain, and it's like right down the center. So when I had long hair, I would be able to flip it around and no one would notice. Maybe now they wouldn't notice either, but I am not sure. How is everyone else's weekend? Oh my god, I can't believe it has been 40 minutes. I cannot tell. I cannot. When time goes by, I I can't always tell, and that's a very good sign. Ooh, I forgot an increase here, didn't I? Increase net. No, I'm about to make an increase. All right, everything is okay. Let's see. Now, is everyone getting Advents? The wax will adhere itself to the paper towel. Ah, gotcha. My son accidentally knocked one and it splattered all over me in a test knit cardigan. Oof. It totally saved it. All right. Well, I will be trying that. Sounds like a good idea. If you heard the noise, that would be my stomach because I am hungry. I went to the gym, and once it is 1 o'clock, I'm gonna go and have a smoothie with like protein and veggies and fruit and oats for carbs and all that good stuff. Save the carpet using that top as well. Ah, well, there you go. Everyone, if you have issues with candles, give that a go. We have more than one confirmation that it works. Right. I love Advent, and I'm just waiting for the second message. Whoops. Okay. I'll wait. That's all right. I love Advents too. And that's why I got one for the stitch markers. I got it as soon as I saw it. I was like, oh, I don't want this to, what's the word? Run out. And the other one I made, and the other one I'm making with Inga as a friend's Advent. And that's always fun. Okay, I've gotten myself a January neon Advent as well. Oh my gosh, that's genius. Do you make that, or is there someone that you buy it from? And if so, do they ship to the US? And is it still available? Because I love neon colors. I'd probably not wear a whole neon outfit, but I'd wear a whole neon sweater. I like neon. And you can always tone it down. You can always like mix it up with some mohair. If you're a person that doesn't like neon, or if you need to tone it down because you plan on wearing it at work and it would not be approved of. Let's see. As a seller on Etsy. Okay. Yes. Let's prolong the holidays in December through January with another Advent. Was it Malia made it? She is in US. I can't remember the name. A new seller to me. Okay. Well, if you do, let us know. Oh, yes, that's it. All right, cool. I'm gonna have to Google that. I'm gonna write it down on my phone. Let's see. Notes. Add a note. January Advent idea. And oh yeah. Untitled. Okay. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Probably not. Um, but there we go. And depending on our budget, I might get it. Almost bought one for her from her. Maybe you should. I'm a bad influence. Well, I hope everyone is having fun so far. Um, I haven't shared this in the podcast yet, but I'm probably going to have to change the videos that I do. I've been doing them twice a month, but I'm actually gonna keep working full time as much as possible and going back to school because in the US I have too many credits of one area and not enough credits of another area to be licensed. Um, so I need to take a few classes for those lacking credits, and I'm going to be doing that starting in the spring semester. And so I'm probably not first be able to knit as much as I used to because I'll be spending some time studying. And second, probably not going to be able to just do as many videos either, you know? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She does have such a great neon. I have to check it out. I've never heard of her. Maybe there's still time. I hope so. That sounds like a really nice idea. Where am I? Do I need to do Negros here? Mm. Yes, I do. Good thing markers exist. Otherwise, I'll just keep plowing through. Make a tube instead of a raglan sweater, right? And let me take some time and just thank you all for coming. It was honestly not necessarily expecting anyone to show up. Um, but basically, we're just like a small group in a virtual room, all knitting together. And I think that that's fantastic and fun. And I appreciate you all taking some time of your busy lives, either during your lunch hour or your afternoon, or as you're preparing dinner slash supper. I don't know which one it is, and I think it depends for people. Mhm. That's understandable, and best of luck with your studies. Thank you. I really don't like school. I I used to like school when I was a kid before I went to high school, and then high school just ruined it for me. I've always been a hard worker, but I stopped not enjoying tests as much, um, and I don't know. And then college just changed it all. Um, Definitely did not enjoy those tests. Lots and lots and lots of writing. And I'm the sort of person that I can keep talking and talking and talking, but when it comes to writing things down, I always forget something. So I always had an incomplete. I heard that here in the US, many tests are actually multiple choice, and I don't think I've had many of those at all during my life. So maybe I like that. But I'm also nervous because it's very important that I pass these classes, and I'm going to be so busy doing other things. I don't know. Yes, good luck with the studies. Thank you. And thank you for the link too, by the way. Um, yes, so we shall see. I don't know if I told you what I actually do for a living. I am what they call here a um, architectural associate or an associate architect. That's because I am not yet licensed to become an architect. And in Portugal, it is easier to become an architect. Here, not only do you need your continuing education that you also need in Portugal, but you need to pass 6 exams. And each one is basically as hard as the bar exam for lawyers. and you need a minimum of I think it's 3.5 to 4 years of experience working as an associate like I do. So increase knit, increase. Okay. Almost done with this round. Um, wrong type of increase. Correct type of increase. So anyway, I need to be able to do those exams. I'm already counting my experience, but to be able to do those exams, I'm gonna have to do a course and study very hard for those because it's a 50% passing rate, so they're very hard. And English is not my first language. And while they do them in other languages, they have like Spanish, Chinese. If they have Portuguese, it would be Brazilian Portuguese or Portuguese from Brazil, which is different. And some words in the architecture field vary their meaning. And I'm also relearning everything in English. So it is not the most fun. And I'm just going to have to go past these bumps and hurdles to get to do what I want, which is being an architect, which is what I've been wanting to do since before I was 10 years old. I'd go around the schoolyard and ask people, "Oh, what do you want in your house? Let me draw you a house." And I make them a pool and a big bedroom. Yeah, silly stuff, kids. Is everyone participating in Sockmas? Because that is going to be my entry to socks that I'm doing for Joseph's grandmother. For Sockmas. And if you don't know about the Make Good podcast, they are two ladies that own a store in where? Where is the store? I know this. I want to say it's not Vermont. I don't think. I think it's Connecticut. Lebanon, New Hampshire, maybe Lebanon, New Hampshire. And they're also having a sock knit along going, or maybe it's a make along. I can't remember if it has crochet stuff or not. But the winner gets, I believe, a choice of goodies from their store, or maybe it is a check to use at their store. And they also have a podcast, and the podcast is really good. It's only audio, so you have to go where you listen to your audio podcasts, or go to their website, Make Good Podcast, or the store is called Scratch Supply Co. And I think from there you can have access to the podcast as well. And every time they have a theme. Sometimes it's socks, sometimes it's mistakes. But they're very fun ladies. It's going along well, I think. Will you design your own house? Well, I have ideas that if I had to use them all, if I chose to use them all, I'd probably have to make like 6 different houses. So I definitely would love that. But probably not very soon because we just bought this apartment and our second house is going to be in Nashville. And Nashville is a very pricey area. But I think maybe after that, once we've outgrown that house, I'd like to make us one where we would stay for a few decades. And I'd also like to design the house where I will eventually retire in, because needs are different, as you grow older. Either you don't have as many people in your house, you don't have like 3 kids and their girlfriends or friends visiting all the time, or you just want a smaller space, or you don't want 2 floors because you don't want to go up and down the stairs all the time. And I think I would like some sort of mini house once I retire one day. So yes, someday I would like to have my own house designed by me, or at least partially. Like maybe I could use the help of someone else that would be neutral, um, to like help me filter my ideas and not make it a very overwhelming experience. And boom, now it's just knits. Yes. So that is my idea. And that's what I've been wanting to do for a while, and I've written down ideas in old notebooks. Sometimes I come across them. Um, One thing I know is that I'd like to have a moss garden with just different types of moss instead of grass. I feel like unless you have, I don't know, backyard parties, or um, you have kids playing soccer or football in your grass, you probably don't use grassy areas much. And since I am allergic to grass, um, I thought I'd just have a yard of moss. It's so pretty. It looks like tiny trees sometimes. It's lovely. I love it. And then also in Portuguese tradition, and I don't have it here because I don't have enough moss. I only have one pot of moss and I don't want to ruin that. But in Portuguese tradition, on nativity scenes, you would take moss from like a wall, moss growing on the wall in the village or something, and you would put it as the base for your nativity scene. Some people put foil first and then the moss, and then you put your nativity scene pieces. And some people use lots and lots and lots of moss because they do a whole village with like tiny houses. Sometimes there's a stream. Sometimes the houses have lights inside and they work. And I remember just doing this one time, but I remember going to one old wall by my grandparents' house with my grandmother a year that I was very small. And I really think we only did this once. But I went and I helped her collect some moss for the nativity scene that she had put on top of her chest. Oh, there's a slip stitch. Is it a slip stitch? Yes, it is. Whoops. Do I want to keep that as a slip stitch? I'm only 2 rows up. I'm going to undo and get there and fix it. If it was too far down, I was just going to keep it. There's so much information going on the sweater that people might not even realize. Where is it? Oh, there it is. And do you all listen to Christmas music around the holidays? And if so, what type? And do you have favorite singers? My parents and I do listen to lots of Christmas music. Joseph doesn't so much, but my parents would play it all the time. Okay, is that fixed? Yes, I believe that is fixed now. And at my work we do too. Apparently the week of Christmas, it's 24/7. And oh no, it's the last minute of, okay, I'm just gonna talk for a little bit more about these Christmas songs, but then I guess I'm gonna have to go because I have a friend that I need to meet. But it was so nice chatting with you all and answering your questions. I feel like that's one of the things that does not get included in the videos that I already do, is that it's a one-sided conversation. I mean, you can reply later in the comments, but then once I answer you, I'm not answering to everyone, answering your questions or doubts. But basically, Christmas songs. My office does. The week of Christmas, it's 24/7. Christmas all day long. And honestly, that gets to be a tiny bit too much. It's like working at the store at the mall. Um, but until then, every December Friday until the week of Christmas, then we always play several Christmas songs as well. And I enjoy them as I'm driving, and I will definitely listen to a few of them on the airplane. I love listening to Christmas music. I sometimes start in October. I started in August this year because I had so many presents that I needed to wrap, and I was just in the mood. So on a cold ish August, I started, but that was it. Then I put that on hold until most recently. Um, let's see. Absolutely, I love the older classic Christmas songs. Me too. I like I like the older ones. Um, I like Nat King Cole. I like Sinatra, and then I like even older ones that I don't even know who they are. And the ones that I can, because there's stuff with public domain and people having music rights, so I cannot put them lots of them on Vlogmas. But what I can, I do try to put out there so I can show you what my family and I enjoy. Thank you, Sarah, for having a live video. Well, Jody, this was lots of fun for me. And I really love, talking to everyone, as you can tell, because I can keep going for 1 hour or more. But, basically, we're part of a group. And if we can have a little bit of fun together, then why not? LOL, or as we say in Portuguese, lol. I totally understand starting listening early. One of us. Lovely to be able to chat. Hope everyone has a great Christmas. Well, you too, Debbie. And this sounds like a great place to finish. I hope we all have a wonderful Sunday and a great countdown for Christmas. And maybe we'll be able to make another one of these sometime again. Maybe not very soon because vacations and holidays and all that, but maybe a sweater every December and maybe one of these every December. We'll see. Well, happy holidays everyone and happy Christmas. And it was great talking to you all. Thank you for taking the time. And well, I guess you'll be seeing me soon. And I'll be seeing some of you soon as well. Bye.